Alright, so as promised, it's going to be my thoughts about the Tugboat. Now, as I had mentioned in the other video, I actually ordered the version 1 because that's the one that was on sale, but I was sent the version 2 instead, and as far as I can tell, this specific combination of things, like as far as like the finish and it being on the version 2, doesn't exist. I don't know if it's a custom thing or a flaw or whatever, but it's not on their website as it is. So if you're looking for the specific color and everything, you're not going to find it. The closest thing that I found on their website was the Anarchist X competition top cap. It comes in this color, but it's going to have different holes on it and might be smaller. It's hard to tell on website pages, you know, size difference, but it's going to be a little bit different. So anyway, getting into the atomizer itself, this is the version 2 Tugboat. As far as I know, it's what it's supposed to be. And I got it direct from Flawless Vape shop. I paid only $35 for it because I ordered the version 1, but they're not getting this back. That ain't happening. So here's what the deck looks like. I already have a single coil in there, which I don't know that I prefer it. It's kind of like a hate-love relationship that I have with dual coils. I find them very hard to do. I don't know if that's just me, but on a 3-post configuration, it's just super hard because what happens is that center post, since it's shared between 2 different wires, I always end up fucking it up, and then I end up snapping all wires, and then I have to rebuild the coil. And it's literally takes me like an hour plus to do a simple fucking dual coil, which is irritating to me. So I just have a single coil in here. I prefer 26 gauge wire because I don't like sub-ohming, which is another issue with the dual coils, is I have to wrap more because I like higher resistance. I usually aim at around 1 ohm, but even down to like 0.8 ohms is fine. But anything lower than that, I don't really enjoy. It just, I don't know, it feels harsh to me for some reason. But I'm not a cloud chaser, and I'm also not a direct lung hitter, so I don't know if that has to do with it. And I do use high VG juice, so it's not the juice. But I don't know, I just don't really like sub-ohming at this point. Of course that may change, but because, you know, before this dripper, I didn't really like dripping, and that's all I've been using lately. Partially because my Kanger RBA tank, I lost the RBA part of it, so I couldn't use it. But now that I have that, I reordered it, I'll be using my tank more. But anyway, I really do enjoy using this dripper, and I've never really thoroughly enjoyed dripping before, so that is something to be said about this device. It does have a gold center post. You should be able to see there that middle post is different colored than the other ones. As you can see, it does leak a little bit. You see the juice there? It's nice and wet. That didn't sound right. Anyway, just ignore that. It's got just one O-ring there, and this thing just slips right on top of that. It's not super secure, but like if you do that, it's not just gonna fall off. So it's not like, because like some O-rings are like crazy. Like the Hobo clone I have is like almost impossible to get the top cap off, and it's just like horrible. But this is fine. But since it does slip all the way over, there's like no lip or anything, you can get leaking on, you know, the outside of the atomizer itself, because there's really nothing to prevent it. But if you don't over drip, it shouldn't really be an issue, or if you don't like leave it on its side or anything like that, it should be fine. I don't really over drip that much, so I haven't had too much of an issue, but it is an issue to some people. The screws are nice, and they definitely are stainless steel, and as far as I know, everything in this device is stainless steel, which is really good. I hate when they have products, whether it be a tank or a dripper, whatever, pieces that meet with the e-liquid that aren't stainless steel. I hate that, because what happens is anytime you have liquid sitting on something that's not stainless steel, it's gonna rust, and you don't want to be vaping rust. At least I don't. So yeah, I haven't had any issues with rusting or anything like that with this device, which is really nice. Not even on the screws, nothing. Sometimes even though the device itself is stainless steel, the screws sometimes won't be. But I haven't had any issues with the screws or anything like that. Some screws also, if you tighten them down too hard, or they're very like finicky and will snap your wires. I haven't had a horrible issue with this, but with the dual coil I was having some issues with it snapping, but that's kind of just probably me because I'm not super experienced with dual coil setups because I don't really like them. But I have used this in dual coil mode, and if I still have the video, which I'm not sure if I do or not, of me having it in dual coil mode, it was a 0.8 resistance, just standard 26 gauge Canthal. I'll put it at the end of the video so you can see what it looks like, but generally I keep it with both airflow holes. It's got 2 on each side, which I think these are 1 millimeter in diameter, but I'm not 100% sure. You can see the little logos, the flag and tugboats. And then here's the top cap with the airflow features. You can do single or dual hole mode. So if you're using dual coils and want holes on both sides, which is what people recommend, you can either do 1 or 2 holes depending on what you want. I like maximum airflow because I like cooler vapes. So I have both holes open on both sides, regardless of whether I have dual coils or not. That's just my preference. But if you wanted, you can use that middle set of holes and use it in single coil mode, whether you want both holes open. See, both holes open and they're closed on that side, or you can turn it and have only one hole open, or you can, you know, twist it and make it partial holes open. You can do whatever you want. It's just a lot of airflow options, which are nice. And it's not horribly hard to turn. Like, I think it was Grim Green who said that his tugboat, turning it with the adjustable airflow was very difficult. This one in particular isn't. I don't know if it's just mine or if they improved it. I don't really know, but mine isn't horribly hard to turn. And then it comes with the drip tip, which I do like. I believe it is wider bore than the original version 1, and it's kind of short, and it's got the same finish and serialized, and I'll show you the bottom of the tank in a second. And then it does have a conical top cap up there, which is supposed to provide better flavor, and the flavor on this thing is really good. So with right now I have a 0.9 wrap in here. I was aiming at 1, but it came out a little bit lower, which is fine. And I vape it at 16 watts generally, sometimes 16.5, it just depends. For some reason, even though I use the same juice all the time, or at least lately I have, it's just a DIY mix that I'll put the recipe below if you're interested. It's a Max VG 9010. So 90 VG, 10 PG. It's a red vine mixture. Tastes like the red vine. Similar to Twizzlers, but if you've ever had red vine candy opposed to Twizzlers, there is a difference, and this is definitely red vine, not Twizzler. But it's really, really good. I love it. My dad loves it. Really good. Even with a 90 VG, it's still really flavorful. And as you're gonna see, it produces good clouds. Now, mind you, as I've said before, I'm not a cloud chaser, and I'm not a sub-ohmer or anything like that. So the clouds that I get might not be as good as what you're able to get. So if like you're a professional cloud blower, you might get a better performance than I do as far as clouds, but this is what it is. So again, 16 watts, 0.9 resistance, single coil. That's good shit. So you should be able to see that the vapor production is good. I personally like the airflow. I've heard some people say that the airflow isn't as wide open as they prefer. I don't know. I'm not, like I said, not a cloud chaser, so the airflow to me is completely fine. I have tried it blocking off certain holes and, you know, using it in single hole mode for single coil and all that. I just prefer the wide open. Just the wide open. It's fine with me. So yeah, overall, oh, let me show you the bottom. I'm using this on my Cannoli 100 watt plus. I don't know that it matters, but still loving this thing. I haven't really had any issues outside of the couple ones I explained, and I think I uploaded the video. I'm not really sure. But one of the problems is the button sticks every now and then. But whatever. Compared to the issues I've had with other devices, it's really nothing substantial, and yeah. So here's the gold plated center pin, which is nice. And it's got, you know, USA, serial number, Tugboat logo, and then hashtag flawless. Threading is nice. It's, you know, nice and smooth. I've never had issues, you know, threading it, because like some threads, even on the 510, are horrible. Namely the, well, I can't really say the Limo had bad threading because I was using it with the, well, I think I did use it with this too. But again, I could have fucked up the threading by using the other device, which was the eLeaf iStick, the first one, the original one. The original threading for the 20 watt or whatever it was terrible, and I think it did fuck up my Limo threading, which also already wasn't, you know, great, but whatever. Anyway, overall, I really do like this Tugboat version 2, regardless of the issue I have with the company, which you could see in detail in the other video where I ramble, of course, as I always do. I like the product. I can separate my opinion of the company from the product, even though the company created the product. So the product itself is really great. I mean, it's sturdy, it doesn't feel cheap, it's a quality product. As far as would I pay $90 for it, I don't know. Like, if I knew the quality would be as good as it is, I don't know how I would know, besides like knowing someone that has one, which I don't know anyone who vapes seriously, like in real life. Well, besides my dad, which I got into vaping, so he uses pretty much what I recommend to him. So I don't have the ability to like try their gear or anything like that, so I don't know. Like, if I had an option to test the product out before buying it and knowing how great the product is, I might spend $90. It would have taken me longer to do because I don't have an expendable checking account. I just don't. I have a very limited income, so that's part of the reason why I'm cheap, outside of just it's the way I was raised. So I don't know that I would spend $90 because it's a lot. Like, my device, this Cannoli, cost $90. It was like, yeah, it was $90 and then $5 shipping. So it would have cost exactly the same as this atomizer, which is just metal. So I don't know, like, it's a hard thing for me to, you know, do. Would I pay $35 or $40? Yeah, I would, definitely. But that's for the version 1, which I don't have. So I don't know. It's up to you if you can afford it. And like me, I am all about flavor. I do like some cloud production, but it's not the main concern. My main concern is the flavor and consistency and like the build quality, making sure it's not going to short out on me or snap my wires regardless of what I put in there. I'm sure if you used a thicker gauge wire, you would have better luck with dual coils, but since I don't sub-ohm, it's really hard for me to do. I'd have to use like 20 wraps of 24 gauge or whatever to get the resistance I want, which isn't really feasible. So yeah, I think that's about it, but I do like it. If you want to get a Tugboat, I would recommend getting it somewhere else if you can, like not direct from Flawless, just because it seems like they're having issues shipping things out, unless you want to wait. I mean, if you're wanting to wait a fast tech amount of time for a US product, I mean, go ahead, but me, I'm impatient. And if I buy something from the US, I expect it in a timely manner, unless it's clearly posted that it's going to be a delay. But, you know, it's up to you. I would try finding it somewhere else, and if the best would be used, like, you know, off of ECF or Vaping Underground or wherever. But, yeah. If you have any questions or whatever, put them below.